Hi, everybody. I'm Armine, the Director of Startup Programs and Partnerships at Catalyst Foundation, and I'll be the moderator of today's discussion on the topic of crowdfunding for startups. We'll be discussing and sharing a bunch of different tips on crowdfunding, starting with best practices and also mentioning common mistakes. Today, we'll be talking with one of the top experts in the field, Narek Vardanyan, the CEO and co-founder of the Crowdfunding Formula. Just a quick note before the start, this online discussion is organized within the framework of Armenia Startup Academy Traction Program. The program is implemented by Catalyst Foundation and supported by the European Union's EU for Business Technology Development for Armenia project, implemented by GIZ. Viva MTS has also joined the project as corporate sponsor and partner. Just quick another note for all our audience. You can address your questions to Narek in the comment section of our video, both in Facebook and YouTube. We'll be answering the questions at the end of the discussion. And without any further ado, I want to proceed with my questions to Narek. Narek, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Narek, why don't you start off by telling us a bit about yourself, your background, how you got into crowdfunding, and also mention what Crowdfunding Formula, your company, does.
Yeah, sure. So it all started when me and my friend had this idea to have, one mobile application, and we're seeking for finances. And somebody told us about Kickstarter, and we, as a lot of people, went there and saw, oh, this is a really cool place, and let's put our idea, and we get, a lot of money. Let's decide how we're going to spend our millions of dollars. And we registered a campaign, and of course we failed, like 70%. And overall we raised, as I remember, $15 or so.
Okay.
And it was one of my friends who gave it to us with the promise of not to spam him anymore about these kind of stupid things. So we basically miserably failed, and but we're noticing that a lot of people were succeeding in there, and there was definitely something that other people were doing differently. So I decided, to find out what are basically all the secrets and that others were doing and we were kind of not doing, obviously. And I started to invite the successful founders to interviews, and tried to record those interviews and understand what basically they are doing. And it turns out that, obviously we're doing everything totally in an opposite way. And there were indeed a lot of things that the successful founders were doing. So after we realized that, everything we were doing was not making any sense, to be honest. I compiled all these advices into a book, which I named 57 Secrets of Crowdfunding. It was a compilation of books from successful people. At that time, I never succeeded in crowdfunding myself. And I put this book on Amazon, and it became the #1 bestseller in the crowdfunding category, to my big surprise. And a lot of people started to approach us to ask for how to do this, how to do that. And I was, looking at my list of advices and picking one and giving it to them. And it turns out that everything that we put into the book was really working. So a lot of people succeeded based on that, and we thought, yeah, these are really cool domain. Let's start digging deeper in there. And in these 5 years, we created a video course, consultation. Then we became a full management crowdfunding agency in the past 3 years. We started to fully manage the campaigns from A to Z. We're a marketing agency, and it turns out, that everything we were doing was really quite successful. And based on our success, we really increased all our attention and resources in this domain. And with time, we became, I think currently we are the biggest agency in terms of team. And we very quickly entered into the top 10 of the most successful agencies, then in the top 5. And I believe in this year, with our success rate, we are even the #1 We didn't calculate it all the successes of others. Yeah. And also we are building a really big ecosystem in this industry. So it's not only about marketing and management. We have a lot of tools, platforms which help creators, inventors succeed. And basically what we are doing have just one mission to help to support creative people from all over the world to ease their access to the global market.
Thanks for the overview, Narek. We'll discuss the communities that you're building and also the book later today during our discussion. Meanwhile, let's just start from the basics. Tell us a bit about how do you know that crowdfunding is right for a startup? What's the right stage for a startup to consider crowdfunding? What type of startups should consider crowdfunding?
Yeah, so just a brief overview of the crowdfunding itself, of what is crowdfunding basically. So the concept was there. It's not a new concept, and even very famous structures such as Eiffel Tower or the Liberty Statue in United States were financed by the crowd. So a crowd gathers, gives small amounts of money to bring something meaningful to life, right? But in the past 10 years, with the emergence of Kickstarter and Indiegogo, these specialized platforms, crowdfunding has become really popular. And what it does, basically, it cuts all the middlemen and it allows the creators to present their projects directly to the consumers, basically, to the people who need that, right? And those people finance the creators, like without any banks, without investors, without anybody else, like any traditional middleman that exists in a traditional economy. Crowdfunding allows creators to directly communicate with the bakers, with the consumers, and bring their creations, their inventions to life before even producing them. Yeah, so that's the cool part. So they get the finances and already know how much to produce, whether there's a demand or no, and then they're starting, after the campaign ends, they are starting their production activities. So for which startup it's right or wrong, crowdfunding has its specifications, I would say. It's not an industry specification, but mostly preferences of these audiences. And we ourselves are specialized into the physical product innovations, into the consumer electronics, into anything tangible. Yeah, anything tangible that has these innovative components in there. Regarding the stage, what stage should startups consider crowdfunding? It's they have to already have this prototype, a physical prototype of their final produce. Yeah. So a lot of people approach us who are not ready. They have just a really good, bright ideas, and they just, hey, we have this idea, we want to do this, and nobody is going to finance that anymore. Previously, there were cases where people were putting just concept in crowdfunding platforms, but currently it won't work, and you have to prove that you have a viable product which performs at least the 80-90% functionality of the final promise that you're giving to your bakers. So the right stage is when you have the prototype. At this stage, you can consider the crowdfunding already.
Okay, so you mentioned two of the platforms, Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I know these are the main platforms that usually crowdfunding companies are running. Can you mention a few differences? How do you choose between these two? Which one do you usually use, if you have a preference? Why is that?
We love them both, to be honest. They all have their cons and pros. It's very product and project specific, I would say. There are products which perform really well on Kickstarter, and there are ones which perform really on Indiegogo. So the right way to choose between the platform is to just very simply to just go and explore the categories that are in the similar category that your product is in. to explore the categories and see in which platform there's a bigger audience. Yeah, for example, like on Indiegogo, there are many successful electric e-bikes. You wouldn't see for some reason. It's sometimes a little difficult to even explain why is that. But there are not that many successful electric e-bikes on Kickstarter, and there are a lot of successful e-bikes on Indiegogo, and there are a lot of photography projects, for example, on Kickstarter, which you can't find on Indiegogo. Yeah. So it mostly depends on the audience preferences of the platforms, which people can go explore and basically understand.
Okay, so one step to prepare for the campaign is to explore the platforms and understand that you already mentioned. Can you give us like some other steps that you do to prepare for the campaigns? What are some pre-launch tips? Maybe you can share those. What is it that our audience needs to know?
Yeah, there are many tips. How much time we have, by the way?
We'll do probably just 50 minutes maximum, and then we'll take audience questions. We'll try to wrap up in an hour.
Okay. Just to understand how much tips I can share within this time.
Let's start with the basics, and then we can go a bit deeper, maybe.
The number one secret. Let's start revealing all the secrets. Yeah. So the number one. And when you go to the statistics in Kickstarter, for example, they have open statistics right there. You would see that 70% fail. 70% of the campaigners fail. The other 30% who succeed, they manage to raise on average about $20,000 to $25,000, and only 1% manages to raise more than $100,000. And only 0.1% is raising more than $1 million, right? So it's really hard. And just to give you a perspective, we raised more than $1 million, 12 times, I think, in the past 3 years. Yeah, and we're raising in the first day when we're launching our campaigns. Typically, we're raising about $50,000 in the first day. And a lot of people are amazed, are surprised with these numbers, and they're saying, wow, like what you guys are doing differently, that in the first day, in the day one, you're raising, a really big amounts. Yeah, some twice as the average of the successful campaigns. So the secret in here is the preparation. And before starting the campaign, prior to the campaign launch, we're preparing for at least for 2 or 3 months for every campaign, and we're putting a lot of resources on the preparation. Basically, it's the right preparation accumulates about 90% of your success. Yeah, so if you see a successful campaign on Kickstarter, 90% means that they are really well prepared. It's not just a matter of luck, it's not just the product, it's not just the platform, it is the preparation. Some campaigns prepare for years at some time. Yeah. And what you do with this preparation is we pay attention to 3 main domains. This is creating a really good video, a really emotional video. It's really important because people always buy and back with emotions, and your video has to be really emotional, not that much logical explanations. You will have time for that. It has to be really emotional. It has to has some interactivity in it. We always have some humor in our videos to make it easy to watch. It needs to be short. We pay a lot of attention to the video quality itself. Yeah, because if your video is a really high quality video, you might send it to some really top tier media like Kickstarter or TechCrunch, and they will share your video with pleasure. The next important thing is the number of subscribers. Those are the people who are interested in your product, right? And then you need to collect and warm up those subscribers to make sure that you have this initial very successful first day. And the secret is that when you already launching your campaign, you already need to have a crowd who already know what your product is about and already have that much information that they are almost ready to go and buy it or back it, as we say in crowdfunding. So how we're doing that is just we're creating a very simple landing page, driving the traffic to those landing pages and trying to collect their email addresses. Mostly it's they put their email address to stay in touch, and basically there are two main incentives and motivations for people why to subscribe and why to give their email addresses to us. It's they will get the biggest discount. So the promise that we tell them is that okay, like we're gonna have the biggest discount for the first 100 people, yeah. And if you want to be within these 100 people, you just give us your email and we'll let you know. Okay. So they benefit from this discount. That's their main motivation. And then along the way, we are sending them from 4 to 5 emails prior to launch. There are many tips on how to increase the number of subscribers, how to get as many subscribers as possible. Starting from referral campaigns, like when somebody is subscribed on our landing page, a pop-up will appear which would say, okay, so if you share this with your friends and your friends subscribe, you will get additional 5% discount. Yeah. So with these referral strategies, we are managing to almost double our subscriber lists. And what else? There are many tips. For example, like email. Why we are collecting mostly emails? Because emails, it's not only about email marketing. Yeah. With emails, you can do a lot of stuff, all legal. For example, you can create a custom audience in Facebook and then target ads to those email subscribers, and this will give you another channel for your marketing activities. Usually, one of the main problems of marketing people, not only in crowdfunding but overall in e-commerce, is to get as many eyeballs as possible to the information, to the content that you're sending, right? And people typically suffer from low open rates in their emails, and in order to maximize this and have as many people know about you as possible out of your subscribers, you need to find out different channels. So one channel is Facebook advertising. Then we would send, as an email, we would send the link of our Facebook group, and those people would go and subscribe to our Facebook group. And we would have another angle to provide them information, like when we do a post in Facebook group, they will learn about it. Then we might send. Armine, are you here? Yeah. Okay. So I'll continue. So then we might send like in the email. Imagine we will place the link of our chatbot, and people will go and subscribe to our chatbots, and this will give us already 4th channel of delivering them information, right? So by subscribing, like X amount of people, we already had 4 different channels to communicate with them. And there's also a 5th channel. One of the most powerful ones is this, one of our growth hacks, to be honest. Don't share this secret with many others. Then we would send them calendar invites to make sure that they are not missing the launch date. Yeah. So this works really very powerful. So why we are doing all these things is that to make sure that we are squeezing the maximum out of our subscriber list, let's say, and we're making sure that the information is typically delivered to all our subscribers. This has a critical importance, because A lot of people are not paying that much attention on these deliverability things, and then they would lose some very significant portion of their audience because they would just never learn about you, never learn whether you launched or not. Yeah. What else? So this is the second domain, and then then there is also a third domain that we are paying attention to. It's collecting the databases of journalists. Okay, I'll finish this and go to the next question. So and then the third domain is collecting the contact information of journalists and influencers. This is one of our two very powerful domains, influencer marketing and PR, where we're really very strong. If you go and check out our campaigns, you would see that we are getting coverages in thousands of media, in top tier medias, in CNN, TechCrunch, Mashable, in all possible medias, right? And the way we do it is the following: we're gathering very customized. We're finding journalists who are directly writing on the topic that we're interested in. So we're researching in 2 months, trying to collect a database, trying to collect articles, and then we're finding the authors of those articles. It's very important for you to have a database of journalists which is very targeted. One of the main mistakes that a lot of people are doing is just to spam to random journalists without getting to know them, getting to know their interests, what they're writing about. Is it relevant to them? Is it not relevant, etc.? They're just spamming and then complaining that PR is not working, it's super difficult, etc., etc. So yeah, and basically,
I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. Thank you, Narek.
Sure. Yeah, so basically these three things are the key, are the basics, I would say, of the success. And when you pay enough attention and prepare appropriately, and also have a team, because these are hard thing, really. It's not an easy thing, and you need to also have a team to cover all these different domains.
Okay. Thank you, Narek. So you have, I know you have this process called Jungle Proof. Can you tell us a bit about what Jungle Proof is, how it's done, a bit more details about it?
Yeah, sure. That's a really good question. So even with our expertise, we never really know 100% which product is a really good product. Yeah, sometimes we might know, but even with our expertise that we're this is our full-time job, we never really guess it, because we're dealing with innovations which never brought to the markets, and sometimes it's really hard to just bet on the right product. So what we were doing, how we were overcoming this thing, is that we had this methodology of creating a very simple website. Imagine it's like a 3-page website. We put a basic information about the product in the first page, just a couple of photos, ideas, and the concept, and then we put a button, learn more. And then when people click to this learn more button, another page opens up when there is a little bit more information and the price and a button named buy now. So when people click to this buy now button, another page comes up which says, sorry, we are still in the process of preparation. This product is not live yet. You can input your email in here and you'll learn about us later on. Yeah. So, and we were driving traffic to this landing page, and we are very carefully calculating what percentage of people click to the learn more button and what percentage of people click to the buy now button, and compared it with our benchmarks. And this is giving us a really great insights, because this is a kind of simulation of a real life situation. And you can really be sure when you see a real people clicking on the buy now button when they see the price. This gives us the most of the validity. Yeah. So we were doing this, and this was really successful, and it was our main process of selecting campaigns. Then we decided, let's build a tool which would help people do all these processes on their own, and we built this jungleproof.io platform, which now we call a jungleproof validation. It's a free platform. People can go and register themselves and create landing pages, drive traffic to those landing pages, and basically check their product market fit. So what it gives to the creators is that before even producing the product, even in the concept stage, when you already have some photos and some 3D mock-ups of your product, you can already validate and understand whether there is indeed a market for it or not. And that's based on our experience, that's one of the most powerful validations.
Very interesting. Narek, I also know that you create some communities, let's say communities of bakers like Tech I Watch or Stephen Allen. Tell us a bit about these communities. What you do, why do you need them? How are they involved in the crowdfunding?
Yeah, we have, as I mentioned, we have different platforms, and we're trying, whatever we're doing, we're trying to always provide value in many areas where we see some gaps. So one of the areas where we see some gaps is the product selection process. Yeah, there's Kickstarter, there's Indiegogo, but a lot of people don't know whether this product is a good one or bad one, right? Like how to understand which one to choose, what parameters to look at, etc. So we have decided to create this curation platform, which is the techiwant.com, which is an expert curation platform where we select the campaigns, and we have a data-driven metrics to evaluate all the different parameters on how to understand whether the product is a really good one or not. And then we are evaluating and giving it a score, a TechIWant score. And then we have newsletter. We have many subscribers, about 40,000. And we're every week, those subscribers are getting recommendations from us on what we think is a really good one and what's not. Okay. That's about TechIWant, and the Stephen Dillon is one of our fun projects. It's a kind of community of gadget lovers, of innovation lovers, where they go, and there are a bunch of different, sometimes very crazy products in there. Not only crowdfunding, so it's from all over the domains, and people vote which products are cool, which products are crap, and there's this voting system where they go and vote, and later on we have this intention to also make this a kind of social network or a big community of innovation lovers, where they can go engage themselves with others and bring something new.
Nice, thank you, Narek. Speaking of fun, can you tell us the funniest or the most fun thing that happened to you during your career at TCF? A fun story, maybe, if something comes to mind.
A fun story. Typically it's fun every day in here because it's super hectic, yeah, and we're used to this stress. And for campaigners, it's very stressful process because we are squeezing the activities that typically startups were doing in 3 to 4 years, and we are doing all this in 2 months. So you can imagine the amount of intensity that we put in there. There have been many things. So I can recall one of the strategies that we did once during one of our campaigns. We were promoting a very famous e-bike. The name of it was Fuel, and the founder was a famous guy. He was a engineer at Harley Davidson. He was the chief engineer of Harley Davidson. But this product was very no crowdfunding friendly, I would say, not typical product as you would see in crowdfunding, because it was super expensive. It was about $4,000, and we were facing some problems on promoting it. And one thing that we decided to do, and it really helped, was this strategy of increasing the price every day. So instead of decreasing the price, we decided that we would, make this try and use this tactic and see how it works. So we said, like, very honestly that, guys, we're going to increase the price every day. So if you have this intention to buy this, you better hurry up. Otherwise, tomorrow it's going to be more expensive. Even if it's expensive now, tomorrow it's going to be even more expensive. And it really worked. Like, a lot of people waited a couple of days to see whether it's a kind of marketing gimmick or trick. And they saw that we indeed are increasing the price every day. And we saw a really big boost in our product, in our promotion, in the raised amount, as many understood that this is an expensive e-bike. Tomorrow it's going to be more expensive, and every day is the best day to go and buy it.
Nice, thank you for sharing. Very interesting. So, what would you say? What's your favorite product so far that you ran the crowdfunding campaign for? That TCF ran the crowdfunding campaign for? Your personal favorite?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. Really hard to say, because every time when we're running a campaign, we're thinking, okay, like, this is our best campaign. This is a really great product, and we are all into it, and we really love all our products. I can't recall one. We had we're very selective, and we're selecting both the product and the founder itself. So we're paying a lot of attention on our personal relationship with the founder. So it's not only about the product. Every product has a creative team behind it, has founders, and which comes equally with the product. Yeah. One of the secrets, it's not that much of a secret, but one of the elements and factors of every success is also founders themselves and our relationship with the founders. So we're trying to team up with the founders and not just provide a service, but to work as a whole team. Yeah, coming back to your question, I really don't know.
Okay, so all of them are your favorites.
Yes, exactly. All of them are my favorites. Like, we are very flexible, and depending on the timings, we are selecting different type of products. Like, for example, in this pandemic period, we did the research, and we thought, so what type of products are going to be trendy in trends, and we tried to analyze the effects, and we understood that as many people are going to stay at home, they are going to pay also more attention to the interior and to the home items. And among these home items, there are also in-house plants, and we decided to find a really cool plant project, in-house plant product, and we found Pico, which is a self-watering and self-lighting plant, in-house plant tool, which helps you to water your flowers or herbs on its own. Okay, and it was a really good success. We raised $1.5 million, and turned out that we were really on the right trend. Yeah, currently we have a mask project, which is a really breakthrough innovation, I would say. It has this ultraviolet filtration technology, and masks are a little bit controversial, and in these days, when we jokingly say, when you throw a stone on Kickstarter, it will definitely fall into somebody who is selling masks, even not on Kickstarter, yeah, even outside of your house as well. But before selecting this product, we were very, very carefully trying to analyze, research, and understand whether this is a really breakthrough innovation or not. And it turns out it has a lot of certifications, patent, etc. And it's one of the most trending projects on Kickstarter.
Nice. So you talked about the changes that COVID brought, like masks, everyone selling masks in crowdfunding, in outside of your house. And tell us a bit how else COVID affected crowdfunding, like these days. What changed other than the products, the main trendy products became the masks? What else changed, if anything? Maybe nothing changed, but share your insight with us.
Yeah, no, it definitely has a big impact on crowdfunding industry. A lot of big categories were totally shut down, I would say, mostly related to tourism and entertainment, and those were one of the biggest categories on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo. So due to that, number of campaigns decreased significantly, but that created additional opportunities for other creators. Yeah, because the competition decreased, and when there is a low competition, you get more organic traffic. So overall, I would say for the crowdfunding, like for those products which are not that much pandemic sensitive, yeah, not related to tourism or entertainment, they were not affected, and even just the contrary. They even got better because they got the opportunity of get more organic traffic because of less competition. In terms of baker side, in terms of consumer side, there is not that much effect. We still see big numbers. We just a week ago launched a campaign, and currently it's trending over $650,000, and we're probably gonna break our own record. So on that side, everything is okay.
Nice. So we can say like COVID was more of an opportunity than a pitfall for the crowdfunding industry.
It depends, of course, but yeah, depending on the categories, depending on the product types, yeah, we can say that there were some products which definitely had bigger opportunity now than before.
Nice. So speaking of bakers, Narek, can you give us give us a description of what a typical big baker is? Who is the typical person who will back the crowdfunding campaign?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So bakers are a kind of special category, are from special planet, I would say. Yeah, they are not consumers, and they are in between of being a consumer and a team member. And the term baker, the keyword baker, is the very right term, I think, because they're baking you up, they're supporting you to bring something to life. It's not only about pre-ordering, and it's not only about getting the rewards, but it's also about being involved in your team, understanding your motives, your reasons why you're doing so. And you would see some bakers which backed more than 500 projects over a couple of years in Kickstarter, right? So for them, it's not that much of a product even, because I imagine if you are baking 500 projects or products, you probably are going to use 1% out of it. Yeah. So it's a kind of mindset of people who are financially stable. That's a good thing. And those people are also have this motivation to support other creators, to support innovators, to support bringing these great products to life. And then why not to obtaining these great products, showing it to their friends, using them, becoming early adopters. Yeah, and there is a big community already on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo who are very inclined to back crowdfunding and innovative projects.
Interesting. So I also know that currently you are working with one of your house startups. Can you share some secrets with us? How is it going? Where are you in the process?
Yeah, we are working with the Embry. If you mean Embry, we're working with the Embry. Out of two important elements that I mentioned that we need for success, they have it there. It's the great team and a great product. We really have high ambitions of this product, and we really prepare very carefully. We try to dig into the very deep layers of consumer psychology to understand the very right motives for people who gonna later on get it. To be very honest, it's not coming without challenges, and it's good, because this is a very new product, and it's even a new category. Yeah, there hasn't been something similar before. So these type of products, although they are coming with the challenges, they are opening up much more opportunities. So we're trying to do our homework in a right way, to not hurry up, to not rush up the things, because it's not a it's not a shoe, it's not a how to say, it's not a phone, it's not something that everybody is familiar to. Yeah, there are these type of products which which we do, and people are already know about it, and we just present a better version. But for this type of products, this is a kind of creating a total new category. And if before we would do the marketing of the product, now we're thinking on doing the marketing of the category itself, right? So that's the big challenge. But I'm sure with the founders, we're gonna overcome everything, and we're gonna see a very successful campaign soon.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing, Narek. So I maybe have one last question, and then we can go to audience questions. One thing that I'd like to ask you to share is, like, we know about the book, we know 57 Secrets of Crowdfunding. Could you share one most important secret included in the book? If you can pick one, the most important one.
It's a complex of secrets, to be honest. I already tried to embed there are many secrets, but try to squeeze them into these 57 secrets. And in every domain there is some small secrets which is easing your job into finding more efficiency. I can share one tip which will help people not only in crowdfunding but in other areas as well. Of course there are many tips, and if people are interested into advanced marketing, I would highly encourage all our listeners to go and check out the articles that we're publishing every week from our know-how sessions. On every Monday we're gathering up with the team and presenting something that we learned in a previous week, and we are doing this for over 2 years, and we never missed any Monday. So, and we're publishing very advanced stuff, very openly, opening up all the secrets out there. Like, for example, a lot of people are doing advertising currently, and many knows that Facebook is one of the main platforms for cheap advertising and for better targeting. And it's indeed true, and Facebook is one of our main channels to drive traffic to our landing pages, to be honest. But it's not only about Facebook, and you can embed the pixels of other social networks either on your landing page, or we have this redirect URLs, and there is this retargeting thing which many are familiar with. Like this is when you are looking for something in the website, and then you go to Facebook and you might notice the same ad, right, of the same product appears in Facebook. This is the retargeting. And then you can embed not only Facebook pixels, but embed Instagram, Snapchats, Twitters, Pinterest, and even Quora's pixels into your website, and then retarget your visitors into all these new social networks. So with this way, you will drive very high quality traffic from Facebook, and then will be able to reach out to them throughout all internet. This will power up all your marketing activities.
Nice, thank you, Narek. We'll post also in the comment section, we'll post the links for the content that TCF is publishing. Very interesting content. I love reading the things you published. Thanks for doing that. We'll also post it for our audience today. Yeah. Now, if you have nothing to add, I'd like to proceed to the questions from audience. Sure. We have very active audience today, a lot of questions. Let's see how many we will manage to answer. So, first question is from Shavar Sorabian. Shavar is asking, if there is a product that didn't succeed in both platforms, but after analyzing the mistakes, it shows that the marketing campaign was wrong and with the lowest efficiency. So with a better strategy, it would be more successful and even very profitable. Is there an idea to start again crowdfunding campaign for the same product? I think he means is it a good idea to start a campaign for the same product? And another question Shavash is asking is, is there any chance to have a successful campaign for that same product?
Yeah, the short answer is yes, there is. And we had one very famous case, which a lot of people know, the coolest cooler. So it was a very fancy cooler where people are taking to picnics. And this guy, the inventor of it, has launched this product in December. Don't remember the year currently. And he didn't manage to raise $150,000 as far as I remember. So then later on, he prepared well and launched the exactly same product, just the color he changed. And the previous color was even better to me. So he launched the exact same product 6 months later in summer and raised $13 million, becoming the most funded Kickstarter campaign in history at that time. And one of the learnings in there is that many people are also asking, like, if you have a season-sensitive product, when you should launch it? Like, if it's a summer product, should you launch it on summer? Or you should launch it on winter with the promise to deliver it on summer, right? So usually the delivery is like at least about 6 months after the campaign. So what this guy did previously, he did the campaign in winter and he promised to deliver the product in summer where basically people would need it, right? But he failed. So the right answer to this is that you basically need to launch the campaign when there is a very high season for it, despite when your delivery is. Most people, I think 90%, are not buying winter coats in summer, despite there are many discounts. You start to think about winter coats when there's cold outside. And even when when the delivery is in summer, people are buying more at that time.
Thank you for the answer, Narek. So the short answer is yes, there is a way.
There are many
Go
cases.
To TCF, they'll help you.
Yeah, not only to TCF, to be honest. You can do it on your own. There are also some other good agencies out there, but it's possible, yeah.
Thank you, Narek. Vresh Boyajian is asking, is it recommended to crowdfund multiple platforms simultaneously, such as both Kickstarter and Indiegogo?
No, it's not recommended at all. Because this way you are kind of diluting your traffic. You're trying to divide the audience into two sides. And if all goes well, you would have like 2 average campaigns in both platforms. Instead, you can squeeze everything in one place, concentrate everything in one place, and have a stronger campaign on Kickstarter, and then you'll be able to move your campaign to Indiegogo in demand. They have this type of option where you can put your campaigns infinitely without a time boundary, and then benefit from Indiegogo's audiences as well. Yeah. So the right way would be to go to one and then to another, not simultaneously.
Nice. Thank you, Narek. The next question is by Mariam Harutyunyan. Mariam is asking, hi everyone, thanks for sharing the information. My question is, can the product get a fund when it is in the mock-up stage? So when the development has not started yet. So you partly answered the question. If you have anything to add or if you want to repeat.
Yeah, just to recall, you need to have a prototype. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a manufacturing prototype. There are different type of prototypes, but it has to be a fully functional prototype. So it has to basically perform all the functions that your promised product has to do. Everybody understands that this is a prototype. It doesn't have to be fully finished, fully polished, work 100%, etc. But it has to perform the main functionality. And we usually say that you need to have about 80-85% ready product before starting crowdfunding campaign. And even not once. You should also consider that a lot of reporters and influencers would cover you and write about you when you send out them prototypes. So we typically recommend to come up with at least 30 prototypes before launching your crowdfunding campaigns, to send out it to very famous journalists. And then when they get it, they can write some very nice articles.
Nice, thank you. Next question is by Alex Amidian. Alex says, hello, we have a startup that is from field of security and privacy. Do you help such project? And if yes, how can we connect you?
Yeah, for sure. Unless it's a physical product. We had one very famous, I think it's the biggest. We had the most funded privacy device in crowdfunding history. It's called Winston.
Winston,
Winston Privacy. We raised more than $1 million for it. So what it was doing, it was you were attaching it into your internal, into your home, and it was blocking, making it more secure, all your connections. Yeah, blocking Google, Facebook, and other eyes to watch you if you don't want it. So if you have a device, if it's not a software, because software and applications are kind of not working on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo. Yeah, there is not that much of a logical explanation of this, but it happens such way that the audience just doesn't love to back software projects. So they are all into hardware, and consumer hardware. As long as it's a consumer hardware, it's an innovation, it solves problem, and it has a cool design. You can just call us.
Yeah. Next question is where to apply if you want to get help with opening a campaign. I assume TCF web page.
Yeah. If you're thinking to apply to us to consider your campaign, you can just go to tcf.team and you'll find the application in there. We have many buttons. So you can fill. There is a small application, a small survey where you would fill in all these questions and you would understand better what your product is about. Yeah.
Okay. Adding the link to the comment section, and you can go with the link and apply to TCF. Next question is by Hambartum Kavgetyan. Hambartum is asking, thanks. Hambartum is saying, thanks for a great talk. And he's asking, do you have experience of working with jewelry? If so, could you please elaborate?
Jewelry. No, I think we don't have. One category that we didn't have experience is probably jewelry. I'm trying to recall, but if a watch can be considered, it's not that much jewelry, but it's a wearable. We had a watch, a Siga watch, February of this year. It went again like really well. It's $1.6 million currently. So it was a mechanical watch from titanium with a really great design. So in this category, especially, it refers to all products, but especially into the wearables and jewelry. design is a really critical aspect. Yeah, because with the design, you are able to convey all these emotions of the product. And as I said, people are making these decisions emotionally. So you need to have like really compelling design. And even if it's it's a watch, jewelry, some other items, other wearable, it will go really well.
Thank you for the answer, Narek. As of now, I don't see any more questions from our audience. So if no other questions, I think, and if you don't have anything else to add, Narek, we can wrap up for today. Thank you for very interesting discussion. I really enjoyed it. I'm sure our audience did as well. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll be sharing all the resources that Narek mentioned today in the comment section after the live stream. Thank you for being here.
Thank you as well.